Good afternoon and welcome to the good news here on Friday night at the New Thought Media Network. And I'm so delighted to be with you. I'm Barbara Jean, your host, and we've had a couple little glitches today, but we're here. So we start off this good news today with this is what heaven sounds like. 5 young dads, soul stirring music wins millions of hearts. So, a Swedish group of 5 vocalist fathers, Dad Harmony, has won millions of hearts over the world with their peaceful yet powerful voices and beautiful melodies. Surprisingly, the dads, who are all in their early 30s, stumbled into being a viral singing sensation. None of them have had any professional training. The talented men all have regular jobs, and singing is their shared passion. Wow. Do we have a little clip of them singing, Daya? Or not? Okay. Well, we'll just move right along. It's wonderful to see young dads doing beautiful stuff. All right, here's a great story out of Alberta, Canada, which is my home province. And this is the Samus Solar Park. North America's biggest solar project is rising in Alberta, Canada. The city of Medicine Hat in Alberta is transforming a former industrial site into the Swamish Solar Park. This 325 megawatt renewable energy project will provide the city with clean electricity. Medicine Hat is no stranger to energy production, but its latest initiative is a move toward a greener, more sustainable future. Known for its natural gas reserves, the city is now focusing on renewable energy by developing the Samish Solar Park, which will become Canada's largest urban solar power project. This solar energy farm will be built on 1,600-acre contaminated industrial site, effectively repurposing the land for clean energy production. Ah, how great is that? Way to go, Alberta! Nice to know my home province is, you know, staying on top of things. All right. So Ozzy Osbourne, who knew he would be in the good news? Well, Ozzy really deserves it this time. Ozzy Osbourne's final concert with Black Sabbath raised $190 million for charity. Well, that's nothing to be laughed at. That's a pretty good amount. The Prince of Darkness made his official curtain call recently with a benefit concert for Parkinson's Research and Children's Hospital that raised a staggering $190 million, featuring a star-studded lineup of heavy metal guests and culminating in Black Sabbath's final performance. The concert was live streamed by millions around the world after tickets for the Birmingham show sold out in just 16 minutes. Yeah, that is pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. Mm. Featuring performances from heavy metal stars Mastodon, Anthrax, Lamb of God, Alice in Chains, Pantera, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, I've heard of them, Metallica, and I've heard of them, and 2 different supergroups composed by Morello that included members of, pardon me, Aerosmith, Judas Priest, Hot Chili Peppers, and more. Well, this is a pretty remarkable concert to say the least, and we got to have a big shout out to Ozzy Osbourne for that one. And on that note, we're going to take a short little commercial break, and we will be right back with more good news here on the New Thought Media Network. Don't go away.
Welcome to the Convention of the Americas 2025, Rising Together. Join us for a truly bilingual retreat experience, on the shores of the beautiful Lake Chapala, Mexico. July 22nd through July 26, 2025, at the Hotel Villa Monte Carlo in Jalisco, Mexico. Featuring Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, Dr. Jose de Lira Sosa, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis, Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse, and Reverend Dr. David Bruner. Registration is now open, and payment plans are available. Simply visit www.conventionoftheamericas.com. Come be part of a transformative gathering with powerful presentations, workshops, networking time, and just good old relaxing and connecting. Plus, you can learn more about the science of mind and how to live this powerful philosophy in your life. Transform your life at Convention of the Americas, 2025. Rising.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents It's All Love, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, with Laura Mock as the presence of love, Maria Hartman, knowing truth, Wendy Wilson as the quality of presence, and Lara Brzezinski as the essence of joy. It's All Love, a space where we open into the heart, tap into the soul's deep wisdom, and enter into the energy of love, truth, presence, and joy. It's All Love, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern.
And we're back with more good news. So, Paris reopens the Seine River to public swimming after a century-long ban and $2.3 billion in cleanup. Wow, what a good thing. For the first time in over a century, Parisians are swimming in their own river again following a cleanup effort that ran over $1.5 billion. Currently open to 1,000 bathers daily in three different cordoned swimming locations for free, Parisians are flocking to enjoy the river the way their great grandparents once did. Excitement that pollution in the Seine River would be low enough to allow for healthy swimming grew and grew in the years and months leading up to the Summer Olympics in Paris in 2024 when it was supposed to be used for the triathlon event. Both Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo and French President Macron promised to take a dip in the Seine in July before the game's opening. And while the former did, the latter was officially unable to because of campaign commitments, though critics accused him of fearing that pollution remained. In 2023, the Good News Network reported on the progress made by the 2.3 billion project that started shortly after Paris was awarded the Games. By 2018, the city had already passed a law which mandated the Seine's many houseboats had to moor by sewage access. They had been dumping right into the river before. Whoa! Well, that'll cause pollution, won't it? More than €500 million was earmarked for huge storage basins and other public works that will reduce the need to let bacteria-laden water spill out into the Seine when it rains. While other government money is going to improve sewage treatment plants along the banks and the tributary of the Marne. One storage facility located near Paris, Austerlitz train station can hold 20 Olympic swimming pools of dirty water from being spat raw into the river. Well, they're making some moves to do some really good stuff, and let's just hope they continue to do this good stuff and people can continue to swim there. Well, here's a really happy story. A backpacker was found alive in Australian bush after 12 days of surviving her major mistake. What did she do? A German backpacker lost for 12 days in the Australian outback has survived and spoken out regarding her traumatic experience. Carolina Wilga's disappearance gripped the nation after her friends and family lost contact with her in late June, and her van was discovered immobilized off a trail in a nature reserve in the state of Western Australia. The 26-year-old had been found walking along a track on the outskirts of the reserve, having been ravaged by mosquitoes and chewed up in the rough terrain. Inspector Martin Glynn of the Western Australia Police said Wilga was found last Friday at 7:30 p.m. local time by a member of the public who took the backpacker to the nearest town, Beacon. It was there she was airlifted to a hospital in Perth, where she released a statement to the press on Monday. The thought of all the people who believed in me, searched for me, and kept hoping for me gave me the strength to carry on during my darkest moments. For this, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Wilga, who was pictured in the hospital among cards and well-wish flowers and food, required to gain 12 kilos back. That's a lot. Especially to the police investigators, searchers, the German consulate, the medical staff, and the wonderful nurses who took care of me with so much compassion. My deepest thanks also go to every single person who simply thought of me, and of course to my rescuer and angel, Tanya. A press conference from the police on Friday revealed that having been found by Tanya Henley, her mental state was quite fragile. The details of Wilga's survival ordeal are that her van became immobilized in mud, and that for a reason later revealed in her statement, she left it, became disoriented, and got lost. According to ABC News Australia, she was barefoot and survived off drinking water from puddles and eating what little food remained in her pockets after she left the van. Whoa, leaving that van? A big mistake to say the least. Wow. Well, luckily, she's back home and everything is good. Wow, that's quite the story. Makes you wonder how you survive in conditions like that, for sure. All right. So this is an interesting story. Um, Sorry, I'm using my phone to try and have video for you. Love conquers the Atlantic. A Newfoundland's couple's message in a bottle was found in Ireland 13 years later. From the shores of Newfoundland to the shores of Ireland comes the story of two young lovers frozen in time within the blue glass of a wine bottle. Separated by five time zones, 1,800 miles, and 13 years, the humble message in a bottle proves once again we have a unique power for connecting human beings. It was 2012 when Brad and Anita were enjoying a picnic on Bell Island off the coast of Newfoundland. The long distance daters then got the idea to write a letter and stuff it in the wine bottle they had just emptied. Today we enjoyed dinner, this bottle of wine and each other on the edge of the island, Anita wrote. Brad, then a greenhorn police officer, stood up and gave it all he had into the waters of Conception Bay, unsure if it cleared the rocks. On July 7th, according to the Canada Press, the bottle was found by Kate and John Gay on the Maharis Peninsula in southwest Ireland. That night, they broke it open, and members of the local conservation society read the letter out loud and hurried to get in touch with the authors. Less than an hour later, a local named Martha Farrell confirmed to the Maurice Conservation Association that according to the text message she had just received, Brad and Anita were still in love, but now we're married with 3 children. How cool is that? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Some of these stories are just too fun. All right. A police officer and mechanic team up to help a homeless mom in need. Oh, we need more people like this. A routine traffic stop in Goodyear, Arizona turned into a life-changing moment for a mother facing difficult times. When a local police officer pulled over a woman last week, he quickly realized the situation was more serious than a simple traffic infraction. The woman broke down in tears, explaining that she and her children were living in a hotel, barely getting by. Her car wasn't running properly, and she had very little money left. Instead of issuing a citation, the officer contacted Community Action Team Officer Scott Daniel, who frequently works with people in need. Sometimes a site or whatnot is not needed if we can help somebody out to get where they need to be. Officer Daniel reached out to Marcus McFall, the owner of McFall Tire and Auto Repair. Without hesitation, McFall agreed to help. After inspecting the vehicle, he found several issues, including a broken air conditioning unit and other expensive repairs, totaling around $2,000. But the woman didn't have to worry about the bill. McFall donated all the labor and offered steep discounts on the parts. She was a good person. She had her ducks in a row. She just needed a little help to get back on the road. The remaining costs were covered by Angels on Patrol, a nonprofit that supports individuals facing urgent challenges. Oh, that is so wonderful. Boy, we need a whole lot more of that in our world, don't we? I love that. I love that story. All right. Well, here's another great. I'll tell you, we got lots of good ones tonight. Makes you wonder why regular news is so negative when there's all this good stuff going on. Well, a 13-year-old hero saves a young boy from drowning at Silver Lake. A 13-year-old boy is being hailed as a hero after his quick thinking and courageous actions helped save the life of 11-year-old who nearly drowned in Silver Lake at Thornton A. Sullivan Park in Everett, Washington. Uh, Gage Bryant was at the lake with his aunt when a woman nearby mentioned she saw a child fall into the water and not come back up. Moments later, the boy's frantic mother arrived, saying her son couldn't swim. Without hesitation, Gage sprang into action. I didn't know what to do. I just went with it. I just thought quick. I didn't have time to process being scared, so I kept going. He dove under the dock and searched through murky water, making several attempts before spotting the boy cradled beneath it, surrounded by seaweed. Despite running out of air himself, Gage managed to bring the child's lifeless body to the surface and onto the dock. Bryant began chest compressions until three nurses who happened to be nearby took over performing CPR until Everett Fire Department personnel arrived. Thanks to everyone's efforts, the boy's pulse was restored and he was rushed to the hospital. The fire department later recognized Gage's bravery during a visit to their station near the lake, presenting him with a commemorative coin and a department shirt. Heroic for sure, said Public Information Officer Rachel, acknowledging his selfless act. Although the boy was initially in critical condition, the Everett Fire Department has since shared an encouraging update. The child has been moved out of the ICU and is recovering well. How beautiful is that? I'll tell you, we are surrounded by beautiful people. Well, when was the last time your husband wrote you a sweet little note? Well, this one is extra special. A husband's text to his wife while she read to their son has everyone in tears. A mother named Emily was doing something simple, reading to her toddler, when a message from her husband stopped her in her tracks. My husband made me cry tonight. I was laying down with my son and I received this text. The text reads, when I came upstairs, you didn't see me, but I watched you through the door read to him. And when he knew what was next in the book, I saw the smile it gave you. And watching you read to him is something that makes my heart full. You might not be able to see it from behind, but when you read to him, his face lights up and the smile is full of joy. I know it's hard to stay patient, but please keep doing what you're doing. That boy loves his mama, and I can see it all over his face. You're such an amazing mom to our son. All right. I can't thank you enough for what you do for me and behind the scenes. I love you. Oh, how sweet is that? Okay, I got to talk to my husband. He needs to write me a little note. Although I'm not reading little stories to our daughter anymore, but you know. All right, back to science. So, a common bacteria can turn plastic bottles into the painkiller acetaminophen or paracetamol. Huh, interesting. Scientists in Scotland recently engineered bacteria to be able to turn plastic into a precursor to the painkiller acetaminophen. Oh, sorry. Um, Though far from scalable at the moment, the reaction nevertheless underpins a potential starting point for greener production and recycling systems, as acetaminophen is produced with fossil fuels and plastic pollutes the environment. The precursor compound, known as para-aminobenzoic acid, can be made by the by a type of bacteria. And so this used in the study had this ability removed through genetic engineering. In this way, the bacteria needed to perform a Lawson rearrangement, or the process by which a nitrogen-bearing molecule from the environment is converted to PABA, which is also the precursor to the vitamin B9 or folic acid. The molecule selected was PET, one of the most common plastic polymers used today, forming plastic water and beverage bottles, packaging, and other items. 350 million tons of this strong yet lightweight plastic turns into waste and pollution every year. At room temperature, 92% of the PET was converted over 48 hours by the engineered bacteria into PABA, the active ingredient in acetaminophen, which themselves are the active ingredient in name brand painkillers like Tylenol and Panadol. The factories that create these medications are often powered by fossil fuels, but the E. coli performed the rearrangement without any detectable carbon emissions. The PET plastic, meanwhile, was recycled in the solution. This work demonstrates that PET plastic isn't just waste or a material destined to become more plastic. It can be transformed by microorganisms into valuable new products, including those with potential for treating disease. How cool is that? That is amazing. Wow. Okay, well, this could have been a really scary story. Sorry, I'm just figuring out how to hold this phone. All 31 workers escape unharmed from a recent LA tunnel collapse. Yes. It's just a few more feet of loose soil fell from the tunnel ceiling. 27 Los Angeles digging contractors would have been trapped. As it happened, tragic headlines were denied those last few feet, and with the help of their comrades on the other side, all 27 men escaped from last Thursday's partial tunnel collapse with their lives. The contractors were employees of Flatiron Dragados, a firm that's currently tunneling 450 feet below the city of LA on a major $500 million sanitation project dubbed Clearwater. At 18 feet wide and 7 miles long, it's an immense undertaking to transport treated wastewater from a plant in Carson to the ocean. Around 8 p.m. local time, the soil in the ceiling portion of the tunnel began collapsing down behind 27 men who had the large tunneling machine in front of them. The collapse occurred 6 miles from the only access point to the tunnel. Various first responders and emergency services rushed to the scene, including all the city's urban search and rescue teams. But fortunately, there was a space of about 3 to 4 feet through which the 27 men crawled to escape, all while four of their colleagues on the other side worked to enlarge the gap. An hour later, all 31 walked out unharmed. I just spoke with many of the workers who were trapped, says Mayor Karen Bass. Thank you to all of our brave first responders who acted immediately. You are LA's true heroes. Ah, how cool is that? All right, one more story for tonight, and another good news story for sure. So, this is about a bamboo plantation. So, new bamboo plantations are healing villages choked by toxic ash from coal plants in India. In Western India, bamboo is being used to rejuvenate lands choked with ash from thermal power plants. One of the largest coal burning nations, owing to its large population and drive for economic development, India has nevertheless likely contaminated thousands of acres of marginal and arable land with fly ash. Fly ash is the heavy particulate matter ejected during coal and wood burning. And in the case of coal, the presence of heavier minerals like silica make farming under its influence all but impossible. In the Indian state of Maharashtra, the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute has spent 12 years pioneering a 5-step program to restoring fly ash degraded lands using bamboo and soil amendments. Working in the region, 3 thermal power plants had significantly polluted the surrounding lands. In the villages, 24 acres of smallholder farms were covered in ash, strangling the livelihoods of anyone who would otherwise farm there. The fly ash has a component called silica, which usually settles on the crops. This cut down the productivity of the crops. Bamboo is a plant that attracts silica, and this helps in making sure crops are not affected as the bamboo sites attract most of the silica in the air. There are over 1,000 species of bamboo, and one that could help one village may not be suitable for another. Pardon me. Dr. Singh has worked long and hard, step by step, tree by tree, to develop a replicable approach. Well, I'd say that's pretty darn good news for the people of India who are trying to do some farming, that's for darn sure. Well, on that note, we have come to the end of all our good news here this incredible Friday night in the summertime. I hope you're planning on having a beautiful, wonderful weekend, and just know that you are appreciated, you are loved, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have you here again, paying attention to all that's going on and sharing the good news with everybody you know. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye for now.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hepperlin Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Spiritual Center, Kitchener, Home Center for Spiritual Living, La Mesa, Satya Center, Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and Center for Spiritual Living, Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for making New Thought Media Network a place to be. Please come be you. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.